We got, is it Tim here in Austin?
Tim.
Thank you for waiting, Tim. I can hear the television.
Hello?
That's not Tim, is it?
It's actually Kim.
Oh, Kim.
Kim. Oh,
Kim.
okay.
They misunderstood you on the typed your name.
Well,
wrong.
thanks for waiting and clarifying that.
You're on the air.
Well, I'm glad I'm on the air. You know, it took some arguing to get here.
Yeah, well.
Your turn.
What do you want to talk about today?
You may
Well,
want to
actually, I want to talk about your topic.
Okay.
Oh, right, that I still haven't gotten to because we've had so much fun with the callers.
Maybe.
Right.
Atheist Evangelism.
That's the word says topic on the screen. Yeah, what about it?
Well, what does that mean to you guys?
Well, I can essentially give the short version of my what I was going to talk about right here. Lately, there have been more exercises by different atheist groups in atheist outreach, which is to say, getting the atheist message out to the general public in a more direct way than atheists have done in the past. And I've seen that there have been some effective ways of doing that and some ineffective ways. For example, the American Humanist Association took out ads on buses. There have been signs, billboards placed, and some of these I've thought have been really, really good signs, and others I've thought have been not so good, rather unnecessarily confrontational, when I think that such messages in that context ought to be positive. And shows like this, atheist blogs, atheist books, this is a great forum for being confrontational if it gets there, but the best atheist evangelism that I've seen have been just the general signs that make other unbelievers aware that they are not alone out in the culture, and that there are other people that they can meet who share their disbelief. And we've already heard from several of our atheist callers today about how when it becomes known to friends of theirs and family members who are believers that they are an atheist, those people shut them out and are very unfriendly to them and hostile to them and reject them, and they're a little confused with that. And so this is a way we've seen lately that atheist groups are doing a lot more outreach.
I am a believer.
Okay. All right.
You may want to actually turn the TV down and just pay attention to the phone because there's a delay and it gets really distracting. But yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So your question is?
Well, my question is, if you are an atheist evangelist, then why are you trying to spread something as a religion?
Well,
if you don't believe in a religion.
We're not.
I use the term evangelism in just sort of a casual, colloquial way, but it's a way of meaning getting the message out there to atheists at large that there are other people like them out there. Just sort of letting other people know about atheists and atheism in general.
Great. But here's the problem. I have a brother who is a Southern Baptist pastor for an independent fundamental Baptist church. Mm-hmm. Okay? So my question is not necessarily why should I continue to believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, but why you as an atheist should tell me that you're right. Because at this time, I'm kind of at an impasse. Maybe you're right, maybe my brother's right.
See, here's the thing. It's just in the way you phrase that, it kind of gets me to the point, and I'll hit it as quick as I can. I'm a lot like your brother in that I was going to be a Southern Baptist pastor, but the question isn't, the assertion isn't that we're right. The position here is that the case for your brother's God has not been made, that there is insufficient evidence.
But there is scientific proof, and I'm not the one
what?
who really,
okay.
I'm not credible. Wait. I'm not credible to argue this with you, but I have seen
stop.
conferences.
Hold on,
hang on just a second. You say there's scientific evidence or proof of what?
The fact that we are not millions and millions of years old.
Okay, hang on. And then you say that you're not qualified to argue that case, correct?
I did say I'm not qualified, but you asked me what am I qualified to argue.
Then why do you believe it? If you are unable...
That's my question. That's why I want you to tell me why I'm wrong for believing that all my
first
life.
off, why do you think that there is credible scientific evidence for the idea that the Earth is not millions of years old? What scientific evidence do you think there is?
Well, again, here we go into where I don't have all of the information.
Then if you don't have all the information, you need to understand that, and you need to not go around saying things like, there is this proof.
I am not saying that there is this proof.
You just did.
I actually called you about... No.
You did, hon. You just said there is
scientific... Your topic is atheist evangelism.
I know, but we're trying to get you...
My question to you is, am I wrong? And if I am wrong, tell me
what I need to do.
If believing that I'm an atheist will make me free and make me feel better...
No, there's nothing about believing that you're an atheist. There's nothing, I happen to find atheism particularly freeing of the mind, but there's no assertions of that. The only thing is that there's no justification for believing in a God, at least it's so far as I know. And when you talk about your position, you said that there's scientific proof, even though you can't present it, that the Earth is not millions of years old. Well, you're kind of correct in a way, because it's billions of years old, about 4.5 billions of years old. And if you actually go and study the science, you can discover this on your own, rather than saying, somebody told me that the Earth isn't millions of years old and that they have scientific proof for it, and so I'm going to believe them. That is not the scientific consensus. It's not remotely. Matter of fact, that particular idea is laughed out.
Where would I find the scientific evidence that you are referring to?
Talkorigins.org.
Or any sort of, there are any number of...
Geology books?
Yeah, there are...
8th grade geology books?
There are big universities in this country that teach these courses.
As an atheist, do you feel more free in your lifestyle? Do you feel like it doesn't really matter what you do? Do you have morals or ethics?
Yes.
Of course.
Really? And what are they based upon?
They're based upon reason. They're based upon the fact that we're higher thinking beings and that we understand what it takes to succeed as such. What we're trying to get you to understand, and this is what we were harping on earlier on when you weren't sort of letting us respond to you, which is, if you want to understand what is correct to, or what is, well, let's say it, what is correct to believe in your life, you first need to learn to be more consistent in your thinking. You need to learn to understand that you can't go around saying in the same sentence, there is scientific proof for X, but I don't know what it is, or but I can't defend it. You need to not, because essentially you're holding on right now to some very contradictory ideas in your head, and you're trying to sort of make them coalesce. And I think the reason is, you just really haven't learned to sort of streamline your thinking and to understand, if I'm going to hold to a certain position, I need to be able to defend that position. If I'm going to say there is scientific evidence for X, I need to have studied that so that I can say there's scientific evidence for X. Otherwise, I'm just like somebody...
I have no disagreement with you on that at all. That wasn't even again, we're going back to the reason I initially called was the topic is atheist evangelism.
Yes.
Right. And I kind of explained...
I haven't heard anybody tonight touch on that topic.
That's because we didn't get there.
Yeah, we've just been talking to callers.
Here I am asking you to get there. Okay.
Well,
maybe just for my own personal reasons, I need to believe that maybe a God doesn't exist.
Well,
but because of the way I have been raised for 35 years.
That's not the case either. It's not. I happen to believe that no gods exist, but that's not atheism. That's strong atheism. That's a different.
So what is atheist evagelism then?
Well, okay.
My goodness, I'm confused.
Okay, I talked about it earlier, but in case you missed it, I'll say it again. There have recently been a number of atheist groups who have been actively promoting the atheist message in a public form where it hasn't been presented before, through things like billboards, bus ads, signs out on public property next to nativity scenes, which I think it was actually a bad idea. But the long and short of it is, there has been more of an effort along these lines, and it has really riled up a number of Christian groups and believers. But the main point of it is that a great many atheists in our culture, there are people who are unbelievers who don't know any other atheists. They feel isolated. We've had a lot of callers tonight say these things. I decided I didn't believe in God, and suddenly my friends wouldn't talk to me. My coworkers wouldn't talk to me. My family shuts me out. What do I do? A lot of people out there, this is what, finally, when you get on the other side of the religious fence, you realize how divisive religion is.
Oh no, I realize how divided it is.
Yeah. So the atheist. When you talk about evangelism, all I'm really talking about is the way that these certain atheist groups, a number of, and they can be local, they can be nationwide. Groups like Freedom from Religion Foundation have recently begun doing things like advertising campaigns to just kind of get the message out there.
My question to you is, why would you want to argue with someone who may or may not believe?
Okay, stop.
Well, that's a different issue.
Hang on. You don't want to know what atheist evangelism is. You want to know about atheism and why any atheist would bother to talk about atheism.
You're exactly right. I do, and that's what the evangelism part comes into, because we're talking about
hang on
over television.
Hang on. Where it says topic and the thing after it, that's specifically something Martin wanted to talk about. So you're not wanting to talk about Martin's topic. You're wanting to talk about what atheism is and why anybody would want to go around advocating it in the first place.
I am. I would love to know why you believe that
I'm trying to get to the bottom of what you want to
I got you, and I'll be happy to answer it. Do you think that it's a good thing for people to be taking heroin all the time?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Would you?
Do you believe that it's good?
No. Would you be willing to, I don't know, speak out against that?
The simple yes or no question, Kim.
Would you be willing to speak out against that?
Okay.
So would I. I believe, first of all, I'm an atheist, which means that I am unconvinced that any of the God claims are true. I see no reason to believe any of them are true. I don't believe them. I reject them. I actually go a step further, and I actually believe there aren't any gods, but that's a separate thing. I'm in a position where I remain unconvinced of the various God claims, and I think that I have reasons to point out where those things are, where those beliefs are leading to actions which are harmful, and that some of the specific beliefs are untrue. I care enough, because I was a fundamentalist Christian for 20 some odd years and was going to be a minister, and I believed these things that I now think are...
And what changed that?
Sorry?
What changed that?
I'm getting there. I believed those things that I now consider to be untrue for a very long time, and I no longer believe them, and I'd like to tell other people that I no longer believe them, and perhaps help some of those other people who are in a position similar free themselves from the shackles of religion. What caused me to stop believing, number one, was a detailed study of the Bible, an analysis and consideration of the objections that other atheists and skeptics had launched against Christianity in particular and religion in general, a study of philosophy, a study of science, a broadening of my own understanding about the reality of the world, such that my old beliefs not only no longer made any sense, but were clearly wrong. They could not be supported by reason or evidence.
Well, it sounds like I'm similar to you at this point in my life. I don't know how old you are, but I am looking for something that is actually the truth.
Yeah.
I didn't call to really argue, but you hit the nail on the head when I said, yes, I am calling based on what your topic says, atheist evangelism, because to me that says, hey, I'm reaching out to you and I want you to know the truth.
Here's the thing, and because we only got like 20 minutes left and there's other callers on here, there's two things. One, you can email tv@atheist-community.org. I forgot to mention this in the announcement, so I wanted to make sure I got it in there. For anybody, for any reason, you can email tv@atheist-community.org. That goes to myself, the co-host, some of the people behind the scenes. Number two, you're here in Austin, right, Kim?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Actually, Cedar Park.
Yeah, well, then it's quite a hike. But not only are you welcome to come to any of our events, including dinner after the show tonight at Threadgill's, but you can come down to the studio and watch the show live. You can meet up at the lectures. If you email, I'm not out here. My purpose isn't necessarily to deconvert people, to drag them away from the religion, but for people who are genuinely interested in having the discussion and considering other options, those are the people that I want to talk to, both on the show and in person. So you can email questions or topics for discussion, anything, and we'll be happy to address them.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you going to display that on the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, sure, right at the bottom of the screen right now.
I want to make one caveat. The first thing you got to get used to and get comfortable with is, I don't know. Because atheism isn't an ism. It's not a set of beliefs. It's not tenets. There's no tenets, no dogma, no nothing. And there's no assertion that we have answers, that we are the right ones, that we have come to some grand understanding of the universe and we're right and they're wrong. It's an application of reason that says we don't know. We know what we know and we don't know what we don't know. And we're not necessarily okay with that. We are accepting that that is the current state, but we are constantly striving to find out the things that we don't know. And the best way to do this, the only way that anybody's ever demonstrated it with any reliability, is through the use of logic, reason, evidence, and the scientific method. That's it. Faith, praying, hoping, wishing, casting lots, none of that gets people any closer to truth in any kind of reliable sense.
It might give you emotional comfort, but it doesn't really...
Yeah, I care more about whether or not my beliefs are true than whether or not they feel
And how
good.
often do you guys broadcast?
Every
This is the
Sunday.
first time I've actually caught this show.
Yeah, we're on every Sunday from 4:30 to 6 on Channel 16 in Austin and streamed over the internet. We also do a podcast geared for atheists every other Saturday from 2 to 3:30 p.m. and that'll be live again on the 10th, starting the new season.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Hey, thank you,
Thanks, Kim.
Kim. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Have a good New Year.
Yeah,
So kind of a... You had to kind of pin
the
her
topic
down.
is the topic is misleading because we didn't get to it.
Yeah.
It's for somebody who'd never seen the show before. It's not going to be easy to understand that. Oh, Martin wants to talk about specifically the types of atheist evangelism,
Right.
and the caller wants to know what's atheism and why are you doing any of it.
I guess you guys can take the topic sign because I've talked about it now, but
Yeah.
more or less. But